Hi, I'm Erica.
Hi, I'm Emma.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Kira.
Welcome to our webinar series on doing sport differently to restore confidence in grassroots sport. These webinars have been developed in collaboration with Vicsport and VicHealth and the Centre for Sport and Social Impact at Trobe University. Trobe University proudly acknowledges the traditional custodians of the lands where our campuses are located in Victoria. We pay our respects to Indigenous elders past and present, and we recognise that Indigenous Australians have an ongoing connection to the land. We are going to start this webinar by telling you a little bit about us, how we came up with these principles, and why we have chosen confidence as the overarching theme. From there, we will spend 10 minutes focusing on one of the principles in more depth and how it could apply to you when you were thinking about how people participate in sport at your club. These principles initially relate to those who are participating in sport activities. However, they can be used just as easily when thinking about volunteers or social members. So who are we? The Centre for Sport and Social Impact is a research centre at La Trobe University. Over the past 10 years, we have worked with a diverse range of partners and collaborated with VicHealth and Sport Australia to take a much closer look at why people are dropping out of sport, why others don't start, and how a lot of traditional sport participants are now looking for more flexible and social options. We wanted to support the sport industry to adapt to all of these changes, and so based on our 10 years of research, we've come up with 6 starting principles that could guide thinking to design and deliver sport in a way that engages a larger and more diverse audience. These 6 doing sport differently principles sit at the very core of what we do, seeking to instigate change in order to get more people more active more often.
The first principle is about thinking who it is you want to attract to your sport, finding out why they would want to play your sport, and then finding out what is currently stopping them. The best way we think to find out this information is simply to ask them. The second principle is to make sure that you are considering the whole participant experience, not just the sport activity itself. By and large, the thing that keeps most people playing sport or makes them stop is the social connection, who they're playing with, and if they feel welcome or not.
The third principle is about ensuring the activities you develop are suitable for different types of people, not just the skilled and fit ones, by making sure everybody has an entry point into your sport. The fourth principle is my favourite, and I think the most important, and that is that the deliverer is the most important person to a participant's experience, and whether or not they stick around. You can design the best experience in the world, but ultimately your deliverer decides what happens on the day and really impacts on whether people enjoy themselves or not.
The fifth principle is to ensure there are options for people to participate in your sport in different ways. This means as they finish a program or as their interests or skills change, they have a pathway to do something else and stay connected. The final principle is around sustainability and considering how to best manage your sport so it can continue for years to come.
So why is confidence so important? Hi, my name is Paul, and in my time as a sport and exercise psychologist for over 15 years, I've learned that confidence essentially drives our behaviour. It's often the first thing I will work on with people, and you might ask why. Well, it determines how much effort we put into activities. Confidence determines whether we persist in the face of obstacles. Confidence determines whether we're willing to try something new. Confident people will give things a go. And confidence even underpins motivation. People tend not to be motivated about things unless they think they can do it. And confidence is one of the best predictors of whether we stick to behaviour, particularly physical activity and sport.
The first principle is centred on people, those who you might be interested in attracting to your club or through your programs. They might have been members of your club in the past or may be new to the sport.
You might be wanting to attract them to your club after a break in sport delivery, or to generally increase participation numbers, or to offer a program targeting women and girls, or perhaps to attract larger, more diverse audiences and crowds to your competitions.
You might be wanting to fill a participation pathway gap, for example, if you don't have an under-16s competition. You might want to engage parents standing on the sidelines. Maybe you need more volunteers, officials, or administrators. Or you might want to improve your club image or seek sponsorship.
In any case, it's important to recognise that people are not homogenous. They'll have different expectations as a result of their different motivations and barriers to sport.
Their perception of the club will be based on what they know of the sport, their previous experience playing sport more generally, or maybe what someone in the community has told them about the club.
There is no one sport or program offering that fits everyone's needs. There are many of us who have had to take a break from sport or physical activity to care for loved ones because of injury or stress or pressure at work, or have just fallen out of love with traditional competition sport, or perhaps we've moved house and don't know our local area. In all likelihood, we've all been faced with challenges participating in sport, and there are many of us currently who are less engaged than we'd like to be right now.
This means there are people out there who want to participate or be involved in your club in other ways, but might not because they don't feel fit enough or able to return to the same level of participation or competition. They might have limited time, they can't afford membership fees.
They might lack the confidence or fear of judgment of participating. They might be a person who stands on the sidelines because they know little about your sport, or what's on offer at your club may not meet their needs. They might not even know your club exists, where it's located, what is offered, or who and how to contact to get started.
Not surprisingly, this diversity means there is no market research that delivers the ideal sport offering or program. As a result, you need to engage with your current and potential participants to find out what they need in a participation opportunity. The same approach is required if your opportunity or challenge exists with volunteers, officials, sponsors, or partners. You can co-solve these problems by talking or co-designing with the people you want to attract.
Essentially, you need to engage with your target market to find out what they need, what appeals to them, what resources are required, what communications would attract them, and how you can make them feel comfortable and welcome to your club. Basically, you need to explore the problem or opportunity.
Clearly articulating the objectives for your club, any pathways within your sport for participants or officials, and points of engagement for volunteers, sponsors, and partners. This is important early in the design process in order to ensure the correct people are engaged.
Identify who could most effectively and efficiently be engaged early on in the design process, and use these people to understand the barriers to your sport, as well as to test potential program ideas and activities.
Potential audiences include parents or families of junior participants, your friends, family and work colleagues or those of existing members, volunteers who do not currently participate in the sport, existing sport participants who will soon be retiring.
Past members, including participants, officials and volunteers. Or there could be potential participants in your local area, such as parents at a local kindergarten or staff from a local business. You may also want to involve past, current and potential sponsors or partners.
You will need to do your research, gather insights on your audience and start to get an understanding of their barriers and motivations. Access VicHealth and Sport Australia market insights on population cohorts and speak to people in your club who might offer wisdom and or speak with other clubs that might be working with this audience to gain insights. You can also consider consulting your local community by running a survey or focus group.
To reach your identified audience, explore who are your current networks, who can help you reach or leverage the target market. Where in the community does your target market visit, or what organisations might represent these people?
You need to reach out and talk to different people, not just those you have historically relied on. As a practical first step, one of the ways you might do this is by engaging people in a co-design process. Co-design provides an opportunity for clubs to put themselves in the shoes of the target audience and innovate and create from a different viewpoint not typically considered.
Co-design involves a collaborative effort between club representatives and members of the target audience and their supporters to explore, develop and test ideas and solutions for the target audience.
For example, when looking to co-design with young people, supporters you may include could be parents, educators, coaches, youth workers or other professionals. The key is to keep the group relatively small, around 8 to 12 people, so choose carefully. Engage with the target audience you want to attract. Ask questions to understand what motivates them, how barriers can be minimised, test your assumptions and what you know from the research. Be empathetic to their responses. Try to understand where they're coming from.
You may have an idea about what the problem is or have ideas for a potential opportunity. Together explore the opportunity or problem and refine if necessary. You might ask questions like, were your assumptions correct? What do you now know and how does this change things? And considering this, what are you actually co-designing now? What resources do you have access to? How much time do you have? And who are your current networks and partners who might be able to help, but also who could be the potential partners and stakeholders?
Brainstorm and create solutions together. This is the time to get creative and generate lots of ideas. This is not a time to dismiss anything. Co-define your points, tell stories, find themes, explore your hunch, apply a yes and mindset. Some of these ideas could be around: what flexible payment options could you put in place? How could the club relax the dress code? Can you offer flexible time slots for participation or volunteering? Could you create online or live videos to introduce your club to the community? Take them on a tour of your sports field or facility.
From your list of brainstormed ideas, choose a couple to build out and explore. What resources do you need to test the idea? Who can help you? Try to make the ideas achievable, tangible, and realistic. This is also the time to experiment. Decide from these developed ideas what to take forward and test. Some will fail, some will need to be modified or refined. The important part here is to proactively gather and welcome honest feedback from those you wish to attract. And again, be empathetic to their response. Choose the outcomes together.
Approach your ideas like experiments. Test, listen, learn, and adapt. Seek help. What funding is available to get it going and help sustain operations? And remember to build feedback mechanisms into your processes to continue on the right track.
Okay, Leisure Networks recently worked through a co-design process with their target audience to develop and deliver Power to Pedal. Working with their local club and partners, this video shows you their journey and the impact this has had for children with autism spectrum disorder and their families in the local community.
During 2019, VicHealth and Leisure Networks combined to support children with autism to learn how to ride a bike safely. The Power to Pedal program was born.
He's got one or two challenges, as everyone does, but thought it'd be a great idea to start him riding the push bike.
That sound good? Perfect. As far as I was aware, there isn't anything, so having this I thought was awesome.
What's your name? Jake. Hi, I'm Greta. Welcome you all to our very first Power to Pedal.
2 years ago now, we were approached by Cycling Victoria
with a little bit of research and some data around kids with autism and learning to ride a bike.
Leisure Networks is deeply committed to supporting people to be part of their community, and riding a bike is one way you can do that.
So we worked with Cycling Victoria then to come up with a concept
that come from the customer's needs and co-designed, in fact.
Co-design is working with the target market to ensure the program is designed around their needs and wants.
And that's where we sort of started to refine our plan.
Obviously, co-design element, super important to talk to the parents.
Really important to connect with the families.
To ensure that their needs are met.
We find this step crucial.
Because they're a big part of what is important for their child.
So that we are actually filling a gap in someone's life.
So initially I spoke to the parents on the phone of families who have children with autism to better suit the needs of their children.
We learn a lot about consistency in a program. We learn a lot about the importance of a safe environment.
Had recommendations about safety, about the best location, about having a sensory space.
And we learned a lot about the pre-information and the registration, the importance of that.
We used the survey data to build the foundation of the program.
That ensured that everything that we did do had the participants' needs and wants at the forefront.
Once we did the survey, we then held a pilot program to see what does our concept look like in action.
You know what, we're going to show you how to ride it.
That was really crucial then to have those conversations with the parents. I think that the parents actually really appreciated that as well.
I'd spoken with them, they were well prepared.
For us, there's just a little bit of a fine line between being under and overstimulated.
With ASD children, a bigger group is quite anxiety provoking.
Well, that's Saya now.
From there, we were able to get the survey results and that practicality and then combine them to then formulate what does our 8-week program look like.
This is your bike then, okay?
Power to Pedal really fills a need, I think, for young people with autism who need support to do some of the fundamental things in life, riding a bike.
Key takeaways to engage people back to your club include talking to new people, not just those who you have always relied on. Co-designing is bringing those with lived experience and those with technical experience together with equal say. The second one is ask for help. Speak with your state sports association, regional sports assembly, and/or local council. Find out what resources already exist and how they might support your club.
Next, embrace uncertainty. Get uncomfortable with the unknown nature of co-design. And finally, experiment. If you're not prepared to test or be wrong, then you're not ready to innovate and change. Test, listen, learn, and adapt.
Thanks for listening to our webinar today. If you would like any more support on how you can build confidence in your club or engage different types of people, you could go to the VicHealth Doing Sport Differently website, where you can find case studies of how clubs have implemented new programs into their clubs. Or you could go to the Centre for Sport and Social Impact LinkedIn website, or send us an email. Or you could go to the Vicsport website. Thanks again.